am once again on a construction site, trespassing again. Believe it or not, these houses go for 500. They start at 500 grand. 500, $500,000, these houses. I mean, they're big houses. They're very big houses, but this is a very prime location here on the outskirts of Atlanta. And so that's why these houses are so expensive. So let's go inside here and see what's going on. And we have a master bed. Look how humongous this master bedroom is. Holy moly. This thing is ginormous. I've never seen a master bedroom this big before. It's like they added on like this. Oops, like this would be without this area. This would be a very, very large bedroom to begin with, and then this area is almost like a little sunroom area that they added in. Not that they added in. I mean, you know, they meant to build it that way. It's just humongous. Ooh, look at that. A walk-in closet to the left and a walk-in closet to the right. So now the man and the woman have equal amounts of clothes that they can put in there. The shower that I was just on, exactly, even to the point of the sheetrock already being done. And they even did it on the front. Same type of taper cut that they did on the plywood to allow for this bottom flange to fit flush, which already tells me they're not going to do a pre-slope, just like the other one. And they have angled the bench, same as the other one. So unlike the other one, the hot and the cold come from down below. Anyway, it's just an odd thing that I'm seeing here, where they've already put sheetrock to the left and the right in the front. So even when they put the shower pan in, they'll not be able to wrap the curb with it. So that's a little disheartening. But I guess the point is, along with my other video I did a few weeks ago on new construction, I implore you to go to a new construction site and find a pre-slope. You will not find it. If you do find it, link the video down there in the comment section, because I'm just not seeing it. And I went out on a limb when I said on another video that I did, even on new construction, they're not doing pre-slope. So I don't know what the big deal is about them. And sure enough, I've been on two construction sites miles apart, literally 40, 50 miles apart from each other, and there's no pre-slope. So there you go. So I'm in another house, it would seem to me, before you put in all the sheetrock and all that stuff going around, which is kind of odd. That's a very odd thing. It would seem to me you put the pan liner in first, so I don't know why they're taking care of all the sheetrock. The pan liner actually has to fold over the curb, and there's no room for that to happen because they did that first. Anyway, getting back to I don't know if they're going to do a pre-slope. I doubt very much that they're going to do a pre-slope. The drain is flush to the floor, so that tells me they're not going to do a pre-slope. So what they did is, same thing I do, is they get a sawzall blade and they do a little taper cut in order to match up the taper on the bottom part of this this drain flange. And that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what I do. This is new construction, and there's not going to be a pre-slope on here. They also build the bench outside of the shower pan, which I absolutely 100% agree with. The bench should never be encompassed into the shower, ever, ever, ever. There's no reason for that. So eventually they'll put the shower pan liner. Oh, this is a nice large shower too, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4x5 shower, so it's a nice large shower. The bench is outside of the shower pan, which is correct. You don't want anything happening with your bench. You don't want anything happening that has to do with your shower affecting your bench. The other thing they did that's kind of interesting is that they sloped this plywood. They pre-sloped the plywood. It's actually OSB, it's not even plywood, and I wouldn't put that up there. What I would put is Durock or Hardybacker would sit on top of that. The slope doesn't have to be there. It's not a bad idea to do that, but eventually I sloped the tile anyway. So they pre-sloped this bench, which is not a bad idea. Makes the tile guy's job a little bit easier. But anyway, this is another oh, by the way, I had a comment on the other construction site that I went on that they had water sitting inside of the tub. And what was the reason for that? Well, because they put concrete up underneath the tub, the gap between the bottom of the tub and the floor. They put concrete, wet concrete, so they put a bunch of weight in there so that the tub actually makes contact with the concrete. And so that's the reason for that. This is actually another community within the same community I was just in, except these are not full houses, these are condos. Not big condos, but very, very busy. This is a good sized bedroom still, but this is a shower. And it looks like perhaps the same builders are doing these condos that were doing those houses. This is a typical 3x4, 3 by almost 5 foot shower. Again, we got PEX lines coming in here. And this is same as they did over there. They just shaved off for this bottom flange, which means there's going to be no pre-slope. And same as the bench. The bench with OSB, slightly slanted. In fact, it's pretty profoundly slanted. That's a good thing though. And it makes the tile guy's job a lot easier. But again, going back to what I said before, I would not use the OSB on the bench. Even if I use the OSB, on top of it is going to be Hardybacker or some type of cement board, same as the front of the bench. It's just one of those little quirky things that I do. I want to make sure, and then of course the whole thing gets red guarded so that there is no water penetration whatsoever. And I'm really glad, as I said before, that they're building the bench outside of the shower. Very good idea. So that's what this is. I can already imagine it. It's going to be a nice looking shower. A lot of rooms in here. Jesus. Laundry room. Upstairs laundry room. Another bathroom. Another smaller bedroom next to the master bedroom. Walk-in closet? Really? Nah. Okay, so his and her sinks. Toilet closet. Sure enough, walk-in closet. That's a humongous walk-in closet. Holy moly. As a rule, I do not like doing videos that are less than 10 minutes long because I don't know how much information you can kind of extrapolate from a video that's less than 10 minutes long. The reason you're looking at mud in this backyard, you're seeing a footer there. That footer is huge, probably 3.5 foot. That is going to be apparently that's going to be a block wall or a big ginormous wall of some sort. This is a ginormous house. I'm trespassing again, so bear with me. This house is going to be in the range of somewhere between 2 and 4 million, maybe slightly higher than that. In fact, it probably will be higher than that. I'm in a very ritzy area, and it's very dark. Even though it's still daytime, it's just rainy out, and I don't know if this light's going to help. This is the master shower. This is a 3 foot, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 foot, but it looks like 8 foot long shower. And look at here. Yep, they got the blocking. I don't know why they put the blocking in the way. I guess they're waiting for the glue to dry. There is no pre-slope. There won't be a pre-slope, and I already know that because they tapered out the edge of the wood, same as I do, so they could set that first flange in place. and then they have, of course, a square drain, which will screw outward as they decide where their mortar is going to be, like every other drain, basically. So they'll screw it out, I don't know, probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches, somewhere in that range. And then they'll put their pan liner in, and they will pour the pan. There's no blocking either, which kind of bothers me just a little bit, but not a whole lot. I do the blocking, that's just what I do. Doesn't mean that they won't do the blocking eventually, but the whole point and the reason I'm here is because I'm just showing there's no pre-slope. There never will be. This is already anchored to whatever it's anchored to, and in order for there to be a pre-slope, that would be sitting on top of this wood, and it wouldn't be flush with the wood. Not much else to show. I know they don't have water yet. Well, maybe they do have water. This is appropriate. I don't know what tile they're going to put here. It's going to be fancy no matter what they put here, guaranteed. I'm sure there's a second master. That may not be the master. This house is huge. There's a bathtub. Sorry for the bad lighting. I will, when I'm editing the video, I will try lightening it up with my editing tool if I can make that happen. So this is another shower. So there's a sink, the toilet, and here we have the same situation, an anchoring going on. And again, there's absolutely no pre-slope that will ever be here. So there you go. There's 2 showers already. I'm sure there's a third. Yep. This looks like the master shower. This is a master bedroom, or one of them. Maybe they got 2 masters. Jacuzzi tub. Walk-in closet. Toilet closet. And a shower with no pre-slope. Oops, you can't see. A shower, again, with no pre-slope. Never will be. This is the 3rd house that I've gone on where I'm showing you under construction there's no pre-slope. So all these people that go on my videos when I talk about pre-slopes and how they don't help, and then they say, it's code, you have to do a pre-slope. If you don't do a pre-slope, you're a hack. Look at these stairs. I say, go to the construction site and tell them that, because they're the first line of defense. I'm coming in after the fact. These people are doing this from scratch. These people are having this thing inspected. It must be inspected. The subdivisions that I've been in so far that I've showed you, those are contractors who are building subdivisions. This is an individual house. This house is in a very fancy area of Atlanta. I wish I could show you. I'm actually next door to this very fancy house. They have their own rolling gate over there, if you can see it or not, I don't know, which is just a half of it. When I drive down the street here, I'm going to show you what I call the Taj Mahal. Right across the street, catty corner, there's a bunch of houses here that are in excess of about $5 to $10 million. That's why I say this one is probably going to exceed what I said. 2 to 4 million is probably low end for this. Then we have their backyard. I mean, look at the size of their house. And geez, look at the foundation. Look at that foundation. Holy moly. So yeah, I will never be invited, not that I was invited to this house to start with, but I will never have an opportunity ever to come into this house once it's completed. It's way too high end for me. So anyway, just a quick little video. I think I went on about 10 minutes now, so maybe you didn't get too bored looking at this muddy pit that I have to walk over, just to show you guys, just to prove, you know, it's like everything I say on video, and then people make critique against me. They have no proof. They put a comment in the comment section, they critique me, and they have absolutely no proof. So then I feel like Well, let me respond to the critique with some proof. And so that's what I plan on doing. And I plan on doing it this summer. I'm going to do a mock-up of a pre-slope and then one without. And, you know, just... it's not that I find it a challenge. It's not that I don't... how would I put it? I don't take the critique to heart. I really don't. It's almost like a banter. And like a cat and mouse type of little banter that I go through. And sometimes I want to entertain the banter, and a lot of times I don't, you know. In this case I am. It didn't take me much time to stop here and, you know, go through all this stuff. So I'm gonna just so you have an idea of this neighborhood, I'm gonna drive down the street right over here and where the stop sign is at, and I'm gonna show you what we're dealing with as far as this is not a subdivision. This is specifically a spec house. This house is being built by somebody who's putting a lot of money into this, and yet there's no pre-slope on a subdivision or a spec house. That's the house that I was right next door to, where I showed you the backyard. These lots are rather large, so kind of bear with me. Some of them you can't actually see into to see the house, like that one there. This one on the corner, from what I've been told, this is a guy who founded Hooters that lives over here. Here's one for sale. I suppose I could call to find out what they cost, or what this one cost, but I definitely couldn't even afford the power bill, I'm sure. Here is, I believe, the Taj Mahal. I drive by this pretty frequently. So kind of gives you an idea of the neighborhood. The neighborhood that I'm in is that's not an anomaly either. Look, this is just, you know, stupid money. I don't mean like the people are stupid. I mean like how much house do you need? And that's the neighborhood I'm in.